Today I want to do a quick overview of my NOCO Boost GBX75 jump starter, and also give you kind of a demo of what it would look like if you hook it up. So first things first, I've already taken it out of the box, I've used it, so this is what you get. This is the sock that you get with any of them. Take it out, you can store them in it. And this is what the pack looks like right here. 2,500 amps. They say it's good for a 8.5 liter gas, 6.5 liter diesel. Along with that, you will also get the USB-C to USB-A charger for it. And for the GBX75 and 155, you will get the DC outlet charger for your car. So you can plug in that way. This is an option for the lower ones, but the GBX75, this comes standard in the packaging. You will also get, of course, your owner's manual. I've used this just a couple of times over deer season. I took it with me hunting because there was many different vehicles, quads, trucks, diesels, wanted to get my uncle's truck running. So I took this with me. I don't like being stranded, I always like to have it with me on long trips. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna put it on a battery I have on the workbench here out of my diesel pickup. I don't really have any dead batteries here to show you a actual does it work or does it not. Let's jump into what it will look like if you hook it up, how to hook it up, and I also have my multimeter here to show you kind of what it's doing. So let's get into it. All right, so let's go ahead and set this up. I've got my multimeter here so you can see the volts and exactly what this is doing. So of course, we're gonna go ahead. Black goes the negative, red goes the positive. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my leads on here as well for my multimeter so we can see what's going on. All right, as you can see, I've got 12.35 volts in this battery. First thing you're going to see, you're going to go ahead, now that it's hooked up, go ahead and hit the power button. If you give it, the light start chasing, the light come on right here, and this indicates that it's on and that it's going. This will go for 60 seconds before it shuts off. So we'll go ahead and let it go for the 60 seconds. But as you can see right here, it's putting 16.18 volts. It's clicking, I think because it's not because it's overloaded or anything, that's just the way this is functioning. I couldn't find anything about it, but it seems to be okay. It seems to jump fine. I have used it. Here's a couple various lights here. I have had this one pop up, and this one can indicate multiple different things. There's, I think, 6 or 7 different error codes that you can look up in the manual. Along with these lights mean some different various things. So what I'll do is I'll pop up on the screen now what each indicator light means and what could be an issue. So it's a good way to diagnose a battery. I'm going to go ahead and let this go here. It should be shutting off soon. They say it's 60 seconds. It starts chasing faster. I think it means it's getting close to being done. I think the idea behind it is so it doesn't overwork this, because at the end of the day, this is a lithium-ion battery most likely in here. So we're asking for a lot out of a small unit, but it does work well. So you can see shut off after 60 seconds. You can you got to power the unit off and power it back on again. And it'll start doing it again. They say don't do it more than, I think, 5 consecutive times in 15 minutes. They want to let it rest, so I'm just going to go ahead and click it off. So as you can see, it's back down 12.61. All right, now that I showed you how the normal jump feature works, I want to show you the override. So this here is designed to jump a 12 volt battery, as we all know, down to 3 volts. So if you have an issue with your batteries lower than 3 volts, what you're going to want to do is power it on. It'll do the typical chase that I just showed you. What you're going to do, you're going to see the override here. What you're going to do is hold that button in for 3 seconds and the white light will start flashing. There it is. What that's doing, it shuts all the safety features off in it So you gotta watch, don't connect the leads to each other, they will spark, and it's shoving all 2,500 amps into this battery. So if you run into a situation where you can't jump your car because the normal feature isn't enough, or your battery is too low in voltage, press and hold the override button until this flashes. That will put all 2,500 amps to the battery to hopefully get you on your way. Let's go ahead and disconnect it, and I'll show you some of the other parts of it. I have noticed that the red lead does seem to be just a little bit shorter than the black lead, so there is kind of a, I think the red flips over like this, clips underneath. So as you can see, red first, and then I put the black over top. And it's kind of a weird thing, they end up crossing over, and they kind of sit like that, so you can see right there. And then just hit the power button and it'll shut off after you disconnect it. So you want to make sure you do that. Now that it's off, this has an LED on the end. So let me turn it sideways so it doesn't actually blind anything. So there's 3 brightness settings: bright, dimmer, dimmest, and then basically the SOS emergency lights. So you can set this out, you know, if you get a flat tire in the middle of the night, you can go ahead and set this out by the road and they'll clearly see. So they're pretty bright. And then you just click it another time and it turns off. Before I go over the charging features of this jump pack, please hit the subscribe button if you find this useful. Hit the like button. What's your experience with NOCO? What's your experience with other jumper packs? Good, bad? Please leave them in the comments. I'll be looking out for them. Greatly appreciate it. Okay, to charge this, they supply you, as I showed you at the beginning of the video, a USB-A to USB-C charger. There's an in and an out on here. As you can see, in and out USB and out USB. It's a USB-A and that's a USB-C. You will be charging from the USB-C side here. So this means you can you charge it here, and you can also use it as an output. This is just an output to charge devices. So what you'll do, take your cable. They don't supply you with an adapter because most of everybody in America charges a cell phone, so that'll work. This one here is rated for 12 watts. As you can see, this is just an old power adapter for an old iPad I had like 8 years ago. So just plug it into the wall as usual, and then you're just going to go ahead, plug your USB-A in, and you will plug in your USB-C to this end here. It'll light up here, and you will see 3 bars, and the one that it's at right now, so I'm in the middle of charging up to 75%, and this will start flashing whenever it gets to 100, up above 75, and it'll blink just the same. It'll be green, and then it'll go solid green when it's done. I will put up on the screen right now the watt ratings and how long it'll take to charge this with the charger that I have at 12 watts. As you can see on the paper, it shows that there's the 10-watt charger. It'd take 10 hours of a recharge time. So that's, you know, this is 12, so it might take, what, 9.5 hours or something to that sort. And then also it shows a fast charging. Now the fast charging, you know, is indicated here. This would light up, this square box with a lightning bolt in the middle of it. I do believe, from what I understand, the auto charger, which I have right here, would be a fast charger. I think the only way you're going to get the fast charger on AC Power would be if you buy their specific charger, I do believe. I have tried my Mac charger, which is, I know, good to 100 watts. I have tried this one here. I have tried every brick and USB thing I have here and every cable I have in this house, and I've had no luck. So let's go ahead. I'll take you over to the car, and I'll show you what it does in the car. Charging. Okay, we're in my Mustang, so we'll go ahead, flip up, plug in their provided charger with mine. We'll go ahead and plug it in here. This is a special USB-C cable that they give you. With this one, if you buy a smaller one, as I mentioned, you will have to buy this separately. If you buy a bigger one, it comes standard with it. So when you plug it in, there's that light. It indicates that this is fast charging at 60 watts. So this, I think it's like 1.5 hours it takes to recharge this thing from being completely dead. You can already see this thing's going already up pretty quick. So definitely a good accessory to have if you buy this. If you buy one of the smaller ones and this is an extra, I would definitely recommend it. Then you don't ever even have to take it out of the car. So this is my recommendation here. If you're going to keep it in there, get yourself this charger. Something that I forgot to mention, I did say that there was a USB in and out, and I only discussed the charging portion of it. You can charge out to your devices on this. So this has the USB-C, which you can charge into, but you can also charge your devices off from. And you also have the more square, which is USB-A, that we all have come to know. The older style now at this point, everything's going to USB-C as time leads on because it's faster. So I just want to show that it will charge. So let's go ahead, plug into the USB-C side here. You're going to want to make sure to power it on. Otherwise, it'll actually pull juice from your device to try to charge this. So I'll show you kind of what it'll do here, but make sure it's on if you're wanting to charge your device. And then just go ahead, simple as that, plug in your device, it's charging, and it does a pretty good job. It actually is pretty quick, and iPads are kind of the harder things. So now we have USB-A, which is the old style charger, which doesn't really charge iPads, but it will work for phones really well. So USB-A here, and then we'll go ahead. Same thing, I just want to show you it turns on. It says it's charging, everything's all good. You see that we got full juice on the boost here. Now, I want to show you what it'll do if you don't turn it on. Let's go ahead and turn it off. You see that it's off. Plug in your device. Your device will say it's charging, and then it goes away and there's no lightning bolt. Guess what? Look what the lights are doing on the boost. It's actually pulling juice from your device. So beware of that. Make sure you turn on this before you plug in your device. Otherwise, you're gonna be pulling juice from your device, not adding juice to it. Just wanted to show you that. I'm gonna be going into a more in-depth part of the USBs and doing some testing here on some devices to see how well this works, kind of some combinations that would work, because I think it's an underrated and overlooked area of these. So now let me take you back over to the bench and give you my final thoughts. All right, so final thoughts. I'm gonna go ahead and pack this up while I discuss this. This is a great jump pack. I believe a lot of people would benefit to keep one of these around. I've seen quite a few people just this year being stranded in parking garages, and I would have offered to help if I had this in my car at that time. I don't keep it in my company car. I keep it here. I keep it in my personal vehicles because my company car, it's covered. So, and it's new. So I don't worry about it with that. So I always keep this in my older pickup. But absolutely fantastic jump pack. I attempted to, and earlier in the video, I showed you guys a picture of the page in the owner's manual that shows you the lights that are on here that would indicate help you troubleshoot things. I had that diamond with the exclamation mark blinking one time. If you want to go back and check that out and look at what that means, feel free to go back and take a look at it. From what I remember, I believe it said it was a short across the battery terminals or across the clamps. It said to take the load, any load off of the battery and rehook the clamps to the terminals. I did that, didn't change nothing. I didn't actually physically disconnect it, but I made sure there was no lights on, no headlights or anything like that. So that was I believe the battery was shorted. We ended up using his jump box because it doesn't have any technology to help you troubleshoot. It's just an old school jump box. Hooking up, it doesn't care if it destroys stuff. That's kind of why I don't like the older jump boxes. There was no real safety to it. You can really burn some stuff up. This has a lot of technology in it. So this would not let me jump it. It basically said, no, there's clearly something wrong. You need to look into this more. We are not going to damage the vehicle. We're not going to do it. So, I really like that. I thought maybe it might have been the jump pack because I hadn't used it yet. So he has a 99 5.9 liter Cummins diesel pickup. So I went over there. It's been sitting a couple of years. We wanted to start it up and move it a little bit just so it was all good, make sure all the tires were inflated. It's his Corey truck, but he's older, so he doesn't use it. Did the usual, turn the key, let the glow plugs go on. It was a cold day. Rolled over twice and just clicked. So the batteries were really pretty dead. Put this on there, never even hit the override button, just clamped it on, fired it up just as if the batteries were never dead. So this, I know, will jump a 5.9 liter diesel pickup truck. I think it's great. It jumps a vehicle, it jumps any vehicle I think I'm gonna need to ever jump. So I definitely recommend it. So, and one last thing here, it come with the sock to keep sock bag, I call it. But I also purchased this case to put it in. This is their hard shelled case. I'm easy on my stuff. Nobody else in my life seems to be easy on my things. They just throw the things around. So I get kind of frustrated. So I bought this, so if somebody has to grab my stuff and use it, I don't have to worry about them destroying it, because I like to lend things out. So I put it in the sock and then put it in here. It's a nice felt lining. It's great. Really robust, actually. And then it has a zipper pouch up here. I put the manual up here in case I run into a situation like I did at my uncle's. I needed to troubleshoot that battery. I was able to look it up in the manual. And I keep both my charger cables up here as well. Something else you can do is, if you've seen my video, if you guys have a NOCO charger, one of the Genius chargers, the smaller ones would probably actually fit up here. So you could actually have 2 in 1. So just an idea. So, but I'll leave the links for everything you've seen in this video. I greatly appreciate it. I plan on doing a video on the USBs. I think it's an underrated thing on these. So I'll be doing a video on that. I'm gonna do some testing with some of the devices I have around here, see what it will charge good, what it doesn't really charge good, and some of the best configurations, so be looking out for that. Greatly appreciate it, and I will catch you in the next one.